Let's go. From space, which would be brighter, a full moon, a full Earth. Approximately, what is the diameter of the moon? 3,500 kilometers, 6,500 kilometers, 12,500 kilometers. Earth has acquired a brand new moon that's about the size of a car. True, false. What is the sixth planet from the Sun? Earth, Saturn, Uranus. A moon day is, as long as its orbital period, 27.32 days, from new moon to new moon, 29 days, as long as a day on Earth. The border between night and day on the moon is called the phase. Terminator, Arnold Schwarzenegger. How many lunar masses equal Earth's? 6, 18, 81. What is one reason why the moon does not have an atmosphere? There is no air on the moon. Low gravity does not allow it to keep one. It does not have seas. What is the name for planets outside our solar system? Exoplanets, dwarf planets, subplanets. Why is the moon not considered a planet? Too close to Earth. It is too small. It orbits Earth. Why can't we see the far side of the moon? We need to travel to another part of the Earth to see it. The moon rotates at the same time that it orbits Earth. It is too dark to see. Lunar seas are thought to have formed by water, rivers, internal lava flows. Which planet is named for an ancient messenger? Neptune, Mercury, Mars. What is thought to cause spots on Uranus? Reflections of comets, storms, volcanoes. What is the name of the spacecraft launched by NASA to study the dwarf planet Pluto? Voyager, New Horizons, Hubble Space Telescope. What is the name of the closest star to Earth? Proxima Centauri, Alpha Centauri, Betelgeuse. Which planet has the highest density? Jupiter, Earth, Venus, Mercury. The Earth's density is 5.52 grams per cubic centimeter. This is because the Earth is made up mostly of rocky materials, which have a high density. Which planet has 6,000 artificial satellites? Earth, Venus, Mars, Jupiter. These satellites are used for a variety of purposes, including telecommunications, navigation, surveillance, meteorology, space exploration, and more. What large astral body is closest to Earth? Mars, Polaris, Sun, Moon. This is too easy. Which planet was first discovered with a telescope? Moon, Uranus, Earth, Venus. Uranus was discovered in 1781 by English astronomer William Herschel. Uranus had been observed before Herschel, but it was mistaken for a star. On which planet can you find diamond rain? Mercury, Mars, Jupiter, Uranus. In the upper layers of Uranus's atmosphere, the temperature is about minus 220 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, methane breaks down into hydrogen and carbon. As the temperature continues to drop and the pressure increases, the carbon forms diamond crystals. These crystals then fall to the planet's core under the force of gravity. What stars in the universe have a rotation speed of 600 revolutions per second? White dwarfs, red dwarfs, neutron, brown dwarfs, Pulsars are neutron stars that formed as a result of a supernova explosion. They spin so fast that they emit radiation in a beam. Which planet has the most moons? Earth, Saturn, Mars, Jupiter. Saturn has 82 confirmed moons, including the largest moons in the solar system, Titan, Rhea, and Enceladus. What phenomena keep planets in a stable orbit around the Sun? Magnetic field, gravity, solar wind, inertia. The force of gravity between the Sun and the planets keeps the planets in their orbits. What color is the sky on the Moon? Orange, white, blue, black. The Moon has no atmosphere, so there is nothing to scatter sunlight. This is why the sky on the Moon appears black, even during the day. On which planet does wind speed exceed supersonic? Earth, Neptune, Jupiter, Mercury. The wind speed on Neptune is the fastest in the solar system. It can reach 2,400 kilometers per hour, which is twice the speed of sound. What protects Earth from meteors and solar radiation? Jupiter, gravity, atmosphere. Elon Musk. The Earth's atmosphere is a mixture of gases that absorb and scatter solar radiation. This protects the Earth from harmful ultraviolet radiation. The atmosphere also protects the Earth from meteors, breaking them up into smaller fragments. Which planets have rings? Jupiter, Neptune, Uranus. Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus. Saturn's rings are the most famous. Jupiter's rings are much less bright and are made up of small dust particles and rock fragments. Uranus's rings are made up of many thin rings and have a bluish tint due to the presence of ice. Neptune's rings have a reddish tint due to the presence of organic compounds. Which star is closest to Earth? Betelgeuse, Polar, Sun, Alpha Centauri. This is again too easy. The trajectory of the planet's movement in space is orbit, diurnal, starburst, eclipse. That's right. What is the cause of the hexagon on Saturn? Magnetic field. Gravitational influence of the Sun. Wind. Counterclockwise rotation of Saturn. The hexagon on Saturn is a giant atmospheric vortex. It has a hexagonal shape due to the specific movement of winds in the atmosphere. The hexagon has existed for billions of years and is one of the most stable atmospheric phenomena in the solar system. How many questions did you answer correctly? Write in the comments. Space is an immense and enigmatic universe that holds many mysteries. We are only just beginning to explore it, and there are many more discoveries waiting for us. I hope you enjoyed our quiz. I wish you all the best in your future studies of space. Quasars are distant galaxies whose central regions are thought to contain a supermassive black hole, a supermassive and active black hole, an active black hole. The black hole at the center of our galaxy is called Alpha Centauri, Sagittarius A, ton 618. 3. The largest known black hole, ton 618, Gargantua, Sagittarius A. 4. The black hole has a mass of 66 billion solar masses. We purposely did not specify the Phoenix A option as the research is not yet reliable. 4. The point at the center of a black hole is called entropy, singularity, centrality. 5. A formula for measuring the gravitational radius of a black hole. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I was just kidding. 6. The Chandrasekhar limit is the minimum density of a black hole, the maximum mass of a black hole, The maximum mass of a stable white dwarf star. Seven. What is Hawking radiation? Evaporation of small black holes, turning a star into a black hole. Radiation emission by black holes. 8. General relativity predicts that black holes have infinite density, infinite mass, infinite volume. 9. Stars become black holes if their mass is half the mass of the Sun, 3 times the mass of the Sun, 10 times the mass of the Sun. 10. The first image of a black hole shadow is obtained from a galaxy, Milky Way, M87, Andromeda. On April 10, 2019, the first image of a black hole inside Messier Galaxy 87 was published. On May 12, 2022, a second image of a black hole was published, Sagittarius A. What is an event horizon? The boundary beyond which events cannot affect the observer. The boundary between the Earth's atmosphere and space. State border. Level 1. Asteroids are small planets. False. Asteroids are small celestial bodies that are not planets. Saturn is the only planet in the solar system that has rings. False. Saturn has rings, but other planets in the solar system also have rings, such as Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune. The closest planet to the Sun, Mercury, is the hottest planet in the solar system. False. The hottest planet in the solar system is Venus. Its temperature reaches 462 degrees Celsius. The Sun is yellow. False. It is actually white in color. It appears yellow from Earth because of light scattering. All stars emit light. True. All stars emit light. Too easy. Level 2. All comets have tails. False. Only comets that come close enough to the Sun have tails. Comet tails are made up of dust and gas that are heated and vaporized by sunlight. Space is always cold. False. In space, temperatures can vary widely, from very low temperatures in interstellar space to very high temperatures in the neighborhoods of stars. There is a magnetic field in space. Truth. There's a magnetic field in space. There are black holes in space that spin faster than light. False. As we know, nothing can move faster than light. Gravity is the only force that acts in space. False. There are other forces at work in space, such as the electromagnetic force and nuclear forces. Level 3. There are stars that are colder than the human body. True. Brown dwarfs belonging to spectral class Y are the coldest known star-like objects. Some of them can have temperatures around 25 degrees Celsius. If Saturn were placed in water, it would float on the surface. True. Saturn's density is lower than that of water. The phases of the Moon are created by the Earth's shadow. False. The phases of the moon are caused by the motion of the moon around the Earth relative to the sun. When the moon orbits the Earth, to an Earth observer, some parts of its surface are illuminated and others are in shadow. More than 100,000 meteorites fall to Earth every day. False. According to the American Meteor Society, between 10 and 50 meteorites fall to Earth every day. All planets in the solar system have natural satellites. False. Mercury and Venus are the only planets in the solar system that do not have satellites.
What is the name of the nearest star to Earth other than our Sun? A. Alpha Centauri, B. Proxima Centauri, C. Betelgeuse, D. Polaris. It's Proxima Centauri. It's located 4.2 light-years from Earth, and it's a red dwarf, with a mass of around 12.5% that of our Sun. What is the largest planet in our solar system? A. Earth, B. Jupiter, C. Saturn, D. Neptune. By far, the largest planet in our system is Jupiter. FYI, Jupiter's mass is more than 300 times the mass of Earth. That's simply huge. What is the name of the bright band of stars that forms a circle around the celestial sphere and is visible from Earth? A. The Zodiac, B. The Milky Way, C. The Great Bear, Ursa Major, D. The Orion Belt. It's the Milky Way. If you've ever stared at the sky on a clear night, you know what we're talking about. Earth is located in the Milky Way. Scientists believe that there are over 100 billion stars in the Milky Way. That's probably why it shines so bright. Who was the first human to set foot on the moon? A. Neil Armstrong, B. Buzz Aldrin, C. Joseph Acaba, D. John Glenn. It was Neil Armstrong. To quote him, "That's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind." In what year did Neil Armstrong become the first man to set foot on the moon? A. 1869, B. 1920, C. 1969, D. 2005. It was July 20th, 1969. Armstrong was accompanied by another astronaut named Buzz Aldrin. They were both on the famous Apollo 11 mission and got to walk around for about 3 hours. How old is planet Earth estimated to be? A. 4,500 years old, B. 4.5 million years old, C. 450 million years old, D. 4.5 billion years old. Way to go if you answered 4.5 billion years old, give or take 50 million years. I mean, that's a hard one to calculate. Which planet is closest to the Sun? A. Mercury, B. Venus, C. Mars, D. Earth. Wow, I have to say, I think you should apply for a spot at NASA. The correct answer is Mercury, of course. Which planet is closest to Earth? A. Mercury, B. Venus, C. Mars, D. Saturn. Although a lot of people think it's Venus, keen physicists have calculated that it's actually Mercury that holds the spot as Earth's closest neighbor. Here's a nice one. What is it called when the moon blocks our view of the sun? A. Black hole. B. Solar eclipse. C. Lunar eclipse. D. Equinox. Well, it's definitely not a black hole. If the moon blocks our view of the sun, we call it a solar eclipse. And when the moon passes through Earth's shadow, then it's a lunar eclipse. So, it's option B. What is the most distant object in the universe that astronomers have discovered? A. A star called Proxima Centauri. B. A black hole. C. A galaxy called HD 1. D. The International Space Station. Can you imagine how far away is 13.5 billion light-years? That's how far the galaxy HD 1 is located. It only existed about 330 million years after the Big Bang. Yikes. So, how much time does it take sunlight to reach Earth? A. 8.20 seconds. B. 8 minutes and 20 seconds. C. 8 hours and 20 minutes. D. 8 days and 20 hours. If you guessed 8 minutes and 20 seconds, then you've got it right. It's crazy to think that the sun is 93 million miles away, but it only takes 8 minutes for its light to get to our planet, huh? Okay, so if you've gotten over 80% of the answers correct so far, you're on a starlit path, that's for sure. The questions will get harder from now on, so hold on tight to your astronaut suit. Which Guinness World Record title does astronaut Peggy Whitson hold? A. Most spacewalks by a female. B. First person on the moon in the 2000s. C. Oldest person in space. D. The youngest person to go to space. Peggy is a legend in the astronaut world because she's gathered the most spacewalks for a female. A spacewalk is when an astronaut has to leave the spaceship to do some repair or exploration outside. They only let you do it after a lot of training, though. So, way to go, Peggy! What do astronauts use to write in outer space? A. A special pen. B. A pencil. C. Their computers. D. They don't really write in space. You know what they say, less is more. Normal pens don't really work in space due to the lack of gravity, so astronauts need a special one in order to write. Planet Earth has liquid water because it's located in a special spot in the solar system. What's that spot called? A. The high heat zone. B. The Sandberg line. C. The Goldilocks zone. D. The asteroid belt. And you've got it just right if you answered option C. The Goldilocks zone is also known as the habitable zone. A celestial body has to be located at the exact right distance from its star to have water in its liquid form. I guess this means Earth is pretty lucky. Now, what do we call it when a star goes kaboom, becoming extremely bright for a brief period of time? A. Supernova. B. Nebula. C. Black hole. D. Galaxy. It's a supernova, of course. Do you know the name of the space telescope launched by NASA in 1990, which has provided many iconic images of the universe? A. Kepler Space Telescope. B. James Webb Telescope. C. Chandra X-ray Observatory. D. Hubble Space Telescope. It's our very own Hubble telescope. And yes, the images look like works of art. We've settled who the first humans to step on the moon were, but what was the name of the lunar module that carried them during the Apollo 11 mission? A. Eagle. B. Orion. C. Saturn. D. Discovery. If you answered option A, then you rock. Their lunar module spacecraft was nicknamed Eagle. By the way, the command module left to orbit the moon until Eagle returned was called Columbia. Black holes are mysterious phenomena. But what's the name of the boundary surrounding them beyond which not even light can escape? A. Singularity. B. Escape velocity. C. Interstellar limit. D. Event horizon. It would be neat if it was option C, but it's called an event horizon. Way to go if you've gotten this far! Now, for the final rounds of this quiz, we've selected only expert-level questions. Are you ready? Good! Which space probe was launched by NASA in 1977 and has since become the farthest human-made object from Earth? A. Voyager. B. Pioneer. C. New Horizons. D. Cassini. And the correct answer is option A. The probe was called Voyager 1, and it went all the way over to meet Jupiter. Which moon in our solar system is known to have active geysers of water erupting from its surface? A. Europa, Jupiter's moon. B. Titan, Saturn's moon. C. Enceladus, Saturn's moon. D. Triton, Neptune's moon. If you got this one right, you are definitely ready for one of NASA's next space missions. The answer is Enceladus. This moon is a small icy body with a huge ocean sitting beneath an icy crust. Scientists have become hopeful that Enceladus might be one of the places where life could exist, since heat from its interior might create liquid water. So, what's the name of the space mission that successfully landed the Curiosity rover on Mars in 2012? A. Mars Odyssey. B. Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. C. Mars Science Laboratory. D. Mars InSight. If you chose option C, you're my hero. The Curiosity rover is the predecessor of Perseverance, nicknamed Percy, the rover that's currently over there exploring any signs of life on the Red Planet. So, what do you say? On a scale from 1 to 10, are you an astro novice or an astro expert? That was fun. See you next time.
Hey, my talented Brightside detectives! Today I have something exciting for you. It'll let your brain do a little workout and have fun at the same time. Let's start, shall we?
Yeah.
Look at this picture very attentively. Can you spot a fake princess? There's a price tag on this princess's tiara, so this girl is most likely not a member of the royalty. There are a lot of delicious products in this picture, but you'll never be able to cheer one of them up. Which one is it? A blueberry, because it's always blue. The next task is pretty tricky. You need to connect all the dots with just 4 straight lines. Let's see how you deal with this challenge. That's how you do it. Easy peasy. Just kidding, I actually failed this task. Now, can you make 4 out of these 3 sticks without breaking them? Yeah, you can. That's how it can be done. This is what I call creative thinking. Can you figure out what's wrong with this picture? This dice is all wrong. It has 7 dots on one of its sides, but it's impossible. The largest number of dots is 6. Look at this image. What word do you see there? A pot, the @ sign, aka aspirand, and a toe. Right, that's potato. The next one, a surfer and a spider web. What could it mean? If you figured out that this puzzle means surf the web, you're very smart. The next tricky riddle for you. You need to guess the brand hidden here. Look at the image attentively. Every small detail counts. The brand hiding here is Pringles. See? P-ring-goals. Clever, huh? The next task for you. Guess the food hidden in this puzzle. A small hint, you can grow this product. Cauliflower. That must be cauliflower. Look at these emojis and guess the word. It's colorful and often appears after the rain. Yep, we're talking about a rainbow here. Okay, now look at this t-shirt. And try to count how many holes it has. Keep in mind that this riddle may be a bit trickier than you think. I hope you didn't only count those nasty ripped holes, because those aren't the only ones this t-shirt has. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those holes are indeed ripped, and 8. Did you get it right? Another tricky puzzle for you. How many watermelons are here? There are 5 watermelons. Look how it works. Nice, right? It's time to put your attention skills to the test. Can you find the odd unicorn here? It's this one. The orange patch of its mane is missing stars. Look at these guys. Can you figure out who's living alone? The man on the right has 2 toothbrushes, so he's probably living with someone else. The man on the left, on the other hand, seems to be living on his own. How can you move just one match to make this equation correct? There are actually 3 ways to solve this puzzle. Either you make it look this way, or it can be 8 minus 3 equals 5. Or you can remove this match and get this. Now this is truly puzzling. 2 plus 2 equals fish. 3 plus 3 equals 8. 7 plus 7 equals a triangle. What does it mean? And how is it possible? The answer lies in the shape of these numbers. 2 and 2 turned this way indeed looks like a fish. 3 and 3 create a pretty 8. And 7 and 7 do look like a triangle, right? Use just 3 of these balls to get 30. A tiny hint, you may need to think outside the box and get creative. Just rotate this 9 and you'll get 6. And then 13 plus 11 plus 6 is indeed 30. Look at these people attentively. One of them sneaked out of the house some time ago and has just returned. Now they're pretending to be sleeping, but we know better, right? So who's the rule breaker? It's this girl with red hair. She's still wearing her shoes and they look wet. Maybe it's raining outside. Now this picture has lots of tiny details and it's going to be challenging to find the odd Grinch here. Can you do it? It's this one. Look, he's missing his fluffy headphones. And now, how about we train your detective skills? Larry's granddad was a wealthy man who loved playing pranks on his relatives. That's why when he passed away, no one could find his will. But one day, 5 years later, Larry was looking through some old papers. Suddenly, his breath caught in his throat. The document he was holding was his granddad's will. It read, "I hid all my money and other valuables at 2 p.m. sharp under my favorite cherry tree, right where its shadow ends. The one who digs it out will be my heir." Larry was going to be rich. He drove to his granddad's villa and found the cherry tree. He waited for an hour till 2 p.m. and started to dig. But try as he might, his efforts didn't pay off. Confused and upset, he had to return home. Why didn't he find anything? It's been several years since the granddad hid his valuables. The tree has grown taller and its shadow has become longer too. James disappeared after going hiking with his friend Matthew. In a couple of days, the police found Matthew tottering along the highway. When they picked the man up, he told the officers James had gotten into a swamp and hadn't managed to get out. Unfortunately, Matthew could do nothing to save him. After listening to the man's story, the police officers arrested him. Why? Just look at this guy, in a white t-shirt, cleanly shaven. How is it possible after several days in the forest? A man living in a small village in the mountains got his goat stolen. He was sure one of his neighbors was behind this crime. The head of the village invited 4 suspects and said, "I'm going to give each of you a magic trick. Bring them to me in the morning. By that time, the thief's stick will have grown by 5 inches." The next day, the head of the village examined the suspects' sticks. He immediately knew who had taken the goat. How? The thief's stick was 5 inches shorter than those of the rest. He had broken it, expecting it to grow longer during the night. 2 best friends, Jack and Tyler, went to a tropical island to surf and have some rest. After an active day at the sea, they bought a large watermelon and ate it. In an hour or so, Tyler felt unwell and lost consciousness. Luckily, he was taken to a hospital in time. The doctors managed to save his life. But both guys ate the same watermelon. Tyler didn't have any kind of allergy. Then how come Jack was perfectly fine? Jack didn't eat watermelon seeds, and Tyler did. Whatever substance poisoned him was in the seeds. Every day, Mark rides his bike to the railway station to get to the college. There are 2 stops near his home. One is a mile away from his house, and the other is 2 miles away in the opposite direction. In the morning, he always gets on the train at the first stop, and in the afternoon, he gets off at the second. Why? Mark's home and the stations are on the hill, and this method allows the guy to ride his bike downhill without any effort. An inventor created a time machine. He packed enough food, water, and other necessities and was ready to test his invention. He set the timer to go 500 years back into the past. He was about to press the start button when a thought came to his mind. He took the time machine and his supplies and went downstairs. Why? This way, he'll avoid a nasty fall. Multi-story buildings weren't common 5 centuries ago.
Brendan and Rachel are 2 archaeologists working on a digging site in the desert. One day, they came across a cursed artifact. Once they touched it, they magically got teleported into a room with no doors and no windows. How can they escape? Now, there are 3 signs that suggest they can escape through that wall. The first one is, if you take a closer look at it, you'll notice that the bricks at the center are slightly dislocated. The second one is, there's a wind coming from the direction of the dislocated bricks. You can tell it by looking at Brendan and Rachel shifting clothes. And the third one is, there's also a faint light coming from between the dislocated bricks. So, that can only mean there is actually nothing holding them together. They can just push the bricks and create a hole in the wall. Unfortunately, Brendan and Rachel found themselves inside another room. Unlike the previous, this one was very large, and there were 10 identical-looking ancient statues in it. But take a look at the scene. Do you notice something strange? This statue's eyes are following Brendan and Rachel. It's alive. Once Brendan and Rachel realized the moving statue, it started speaking. "How dare you enter the chamber where I am resting with my brave warriors? I will turn a blind eye to your disrespect and will let you go only if you answer my question correctly. If you can't, I will turn both of you to stone. I am light as a feather, yet the strongest man can't hold me for much more than a minute. What am I?" The correct answer is breath. Anna wanted to buy a van to travel the country. She went to the van fair to pick one. There were 3 vans she could afford. Take a look at each of them. Which one should she buy? Did the wooden flooring of the first van catch your attention? It's all scratched and blistered, so this one is a pass. Now let's check the second one. It seems like something is missing. It has no stove. How is she going to be able to cook? It's better she does not waste her money on this one either, so she should buy the third one. David went to the grocery store to buy some fresh fruits and vegetables. At the checkout, he realized that he had forgotten his wallet back home. It was closing time at the store, so there was no time to go home, grab his wallet, and come back to pay. The store manager said, "I'll let you get all the food for free if you can answer my riddle correctly. What has a heart that doesn't beat?" The answer is an artichoke. Jamie was riding his bike when he came across a junction. The first road was leading to a forest where it was raining acid all the time. The second road was leading to a pitch-black tunnel where nobody could see where they were going. And the third road was leading to a highway where it was so hot that even the concrete road was melting. Which one should he choose? Jamie should pick the second road because his bicycle has a headlight attachment here, so he can actually see where he's going. Florence was a contestant at the Who Wants to Be a Billionaire game show. She only had one question left to win $1 billion, and it was this. What starts with an E, ends with an E, but only contains one letter? But she couldn't figure out the answer, so she used her phone-a-friend lifeline and called you. Can you help her out? The answer is an envelope. The Rodriguez family went on vacation to a remote cabin in the woods. They brought a large supply of food with them, including several cans of soup. However, when it was time to open a can and start preparing the dinner, they realized they didn't have a can opener. Yet still, Mr. Rodriguez was able to open it. How did he do it? He used this rock on the counter to smash the top of the can. Yes, the rock was a can opener. Mrs. Rosie was knitting a sweater in front of the fireplace on one snowy winter night. Suddenly, somebody threw a snowball at her window, which caused the glass to shatter to pieces. Mrs. Rosie immediately could tell this was one of those 3 mischievous kids who lived in the neighborhood. They were brothers with the names of Robert McDuffie, Henry McDuffie, and Mark McDuffie. The next day, a paper note was left on Mrs. Rosie's doorstep. It had this cryptic message written on it. ? McDuffie. He threw the snowball. After reading it, Mrs. Rosie could immediately tell which McDuffie brother threw the snowball. Can you? The brother responsible for the broken window was Mark McDuffie. The symbol, ? is called a, question mark. Now the meaning of the message is clear as day, right? ? McDuffie. He threw the snowball. Now the question is, who threw Mark McDuffie under the bus? Ratted him out? Sandra was going to a monster-themed costume party. When she arrived at the venue, she greeted 3 people, but 2 of them were actually real monsters, and only one of them was a human. Can you tell who? The first guy is a real human because he is wearing a mask. You can see the ribbon of it tied behind his head. Sophia was an extra who acted in the season's most anticipated movie. She was invited to the premiere among the other cast members and crew. She wanted to look her best for the event and decided to hire a professional makeup artist to do her makeup. She found 3 makeup artists on social media to choose from. Take a look at their profiles. Which one should Sophia choose? Well, the makeup the first makeup artist is wearing is not so flattering. How is she going to do Sophia's makeup if her own looks that unprofessional? And did you see that the social media bio of the second makeup artist says only bridal makeup? So, the best option is the third makeup artist. Princess Madeline was going to have a crowning ceremony, and all kinds of important people were invited. However, on the day of the ceremony, her newly crafted royal crown got stolen from the vault. The head royal guard examined the security footage and boiled down the suspects to 3. When he questioned them, the first suspect said she had just arrived at the palace at the time the crown was stolen, so she didn't do it. The second suspect said she had spilled a drink on her dress and went back home to change it, so she didn't do it. And the third suspect said even if she was a thief, she would not be interested in stealing a crown made of emeralds. Who do you think did it? Now remember, the crown is newly crafted, so nobody has seen it yet, and there is no way anyone could know what gemstones it is made of. So it's the third lady who stole it. Simon was going to propose to his longtime girlfriend. He wanted the ring to be special, so he engraved his and his girlfriend's initials along with a heart shape inside the ring. However, when his girlfriend saw it, she immediately broke up with him. Can you tell why? Do you see the necklace Simon's girlfriend is wearing? It says Beatrice on the pendant, so that must be her name. But the engraving inside the ring says S loves D. This probably means Simon is cheating on her with another girl whose name starts with D, and he mixed the names up. Simon says, find somebody else. Anthony was going to start working at his dream company. To celebrate the good news, his dad wanted to get him a new luxury watch as a good luck gift. He went to the store to pick one. The salesman showed him 3 different watches. Which one should he buy? Do you see the tiny scratches the second watch has? That must be a returned product, so it's a pass. And the third watch here shows the time wrong. The store clock on the wall says it's 5 p.m., but the watch says it's 4:40 p.m., so it is running behind. Better not risk spending all that money on a malfunctioning watch. So, he should buy the first one. Nancy was hiking in the woods. She lost track of time and couldn't find her way back to her car in the darkness. In the distance, she saw a small cottage with lights coming from the windows. She headed there to ask for help. When she knocked on the door, a wizard greeted her and said he would help her only if she could guess what animal his familiar was. Can you help Nancy figure it out? Take a look at the magic staff the wizard is holding. The head of it is raven-shaped, so his familiar must be a raven. Amir's favorite band was in town to give a concert. After it ended, Amir rushed backstage to catch the band members before they left and asked for an autograph. But the security guard stopped him. After Amir begged him and told him this was his biggest dream, the security guard said, "I will let you meet the members if only you answer my riddle correctly. What comes once in a minute, twice in a moment, but never in 1,000 years?" Come on, the security guy. Anyway, do you know the answer? The correct answer is the letter M. Penny's new favorite hobby was bird watching. She was trying to observe all the birds in her region and take notes about them. One day, she saw a rare species of bird and wanted to learn everything she could about it. Can you help her figure out which of these trees in the forest is this bird's home? Did you see the leaf that was stuck among the wing feathers of the bird? Only this tree has the same kind of leaves, so it must be where the bird's nest is located. Sally had a history exam the next day, but she had not been attending any of the classes, so she didn't have any notes to help her study. Nellie, on the other hand, was a very hard-working student who had never missed a single class. When Sally asked Nellie if she could borrow her class notes, Nellie said, "I will only allow that if you answer my riddle correctly. What has 4 letters, sometimes 9 letters, but never has 5 letters? Can you answer it?" Well, the answers are hidden in the question this time. This riddle isn't describing something, it's actually telling you how many letters each word has. The word what contains 4 letters, the word sometimes contains 9 letters, and the word never contains 5 letters. Since Sally was a lazy student who didn't study, she couldn't answer the riddle and flunked the exam. She was grounded to her home after school for a month. And Nellie ended up with Sally's boyfriend Pete, who everyone said could have done better than old Sally. And now you know the rest of the story. Here we go. Stella is a cleaning lady in a 3-story business center. Late in the evening, she finishes cleaning the big boss's office. Stella is the last person in the entire building, so she locks the doors and goes home. The next morning, the boss calls her and yells, "Someone wrote scammer on the wall near his desk with blue paint." The boss questions 3 suspects. The guard said, "I was feeling sick yesterday, so I left earlier and asked Stella to lock all the doors with her keys." The manager says, "This paint was supposed to be used for the basement. I guess someone had stolen the paint from the storage room. As for me, I've spent the evening with my family, and they can confirm my words." And the local interior decorator says, "Yesterday, I was working from home." So, who's guilty? The guard. Take a look at his shoes. He left some footprints on the floor, and they look identical to the paint footprints left in the boss's office. Kyle and Amy are having dinner at a restaurant. Can you spot what's wrong here? She has 2 forks. You're in a land where 30 men and 2 women are dressed in conservative black and white outfits. They begin to fight as soon as any of them moves. Can you guess where you are? You're on a chessboard. Welcome to the food market. There's a zombie hiding somewhere here. Can you see him? Over here. Can you help the police spot a bank robber in this amusement park? Hello. Let's take a look at all of these emojis. Can you find any food? There's shrimp over here. What about this collection? Can you see anything edible? There are 2 options, actually. Let's go ahead and see if you can find a building among these emojis. There it is! Next set. Can you see a human among these emojis? Hello. I bet you can find a body part in this variety. This nose over here. Can you see any flowers among all these emojis? There are 2 flowers actually, here and here. Can you spot what's wrong here? The reflection doesn't match reality. Can you see anything odd here? This lady doesn't have any reflection. Wicked witch kidnaps young women in the town. The police had been tracking her for 6 months, and finally they detected her hideout uptown. They break in and find 3 young ladies with their hands tied. The police questions all women. Sally says, "I've been here for a month or so. I'm so glad you found us." Bella says, "This witch only gave us some bread. We were starving." And Rosie says, "I've spent a month in the darkness. I thought I'd never see the daylight again." The police know at once that one of them is the witch. Can you guess who? Sally. If she had been there for a month, her nails would grow and the nail polish would peel. George works in a museum as an appraisal expert. One day, a stranger brings him 3 antique Japanese vases. He says, "They're precious. These vases were passed down in my family from generation to generation. They're worth millions, but I would like to sell them to your museum at a huge discount so that everyone can admire them." George examines the vases and finds out that only one of them isn't fake. Can you guess which one? The first piece looks pretty ancient, but why would an ancient Japanese vase have English letters as part of its decoration? The third vase depicts an elegant lady in a traditional costume who's holding a smartphone. Therefore, only the second vase is original. Let's take a look at this collection of emojis. Can you see any gadgets? There are 2 options, actually. Can you find a body part in this variety? This palm over here. Let's go ahead and see if you can find a building among these emojis. There it is! Next set. Can you see any animals among these emojis? There are 3 animals here. Can you find any plants among all these emojis? Hello! A powerful wizard kidnaps Kyle's wife. There are 3 tunnels leading to the dungeon where she's imprisoned. A mother bear is cuddling her cubs inside the first tunnel. The second tunnel is filled with hungry wolves who haven't been eating for a year. And a fire-breathing dragon is sleeping inside the third tunnel. It can wake up at any moment and burn anyone who dares to enter. Which way is more or less safe? The second path is the safest. Wolves won't survive without food for so long, which means they're not dangerous or breathing. Let's go ahead and see if you can find an outfit among these emojis. It's over here. Let's take a look at this collection of emojis. Can you see any money? Ka-ching! Can you find a shoe in this set? There it is! Next set. Can you see any desserts among these emojis? Piece of cake! Literally. Ms. Smith is a rich old lady. Today she's furious because she's found out that her son is having a secret relationship with one of her staff members. 3 women are working in Ms. Smith's mansion. The house cleaner, who has just married their driver, they have a huge debt. The babysitter, who's very poor and brings up 5 siblings. And the gardener, who is a university student. She's not very serious and loves partying. Can you guess who's the secret girlfriend? It's the babysitter. Where did she get money for this jewelry? Billy has lost his cat. Can you help him find it? It's hiding behind this lady. Alex wakes up in a creepy quest room. There are 3 doors, but touching their doorknobs is unsafe. The first one is under high voltage, fatal to humans. The second one is red-hot iron that will burn your hand. And the third one is covered with poison, which is fatal for all beings when injected. Which doorknob should Alex turn to escape? The third one. The poison is only dangerous when injected. Paul leaves his workplace to wash his hands before lunch. He returns to his desk and finds out that someone had eaten his turkey sandwich. Paul checks the crime scene and questions 3 suspects among his co-workers. Mary says, "I've been talking to the manager in his office when the robbery was taking place." Liam says, "I don't need your sandwich, bro. I'm a vegetarian." And Wendy says, "I've been having a conference call in the lobby. I wasn't looking at your desk." Who's lying? Liam. There's a sandwich on his desk. Take a closer look at the package. It says chicken. Therefore, he's not a vegetarian. Can you find any fish among all these emojis? Hello! Let's take a look at this collection of emojis. Can you see any money? Jackpot! Emma takes part in a beauty pageant. She arrives at the auditorium early, gets ready, and has lunch at the local cafeteria because she hasn't been eating or drinking all day. Before going to the stage, Emma faints.
Oh, no.
The doctors find out that someone had poisoned her. The police check all food and drinks at the cafeteria and find no poison. They interrogate 4 witnesses. The cook says, "I only served allergy-friendly snacks and drinks." The contest manager says all the models had been eating and drinking the same food, but Emma was the only one who got poisoned. She must have eaten something wrong at home. The rival beauty pageant contestant says, "I've done all the preparations at home, so I've just arrived." And the makeup artist says, "I was too busy with my duties, so I haven't even entered the cafeteria." Can you guess who poisoned Emma? The makeup artist. Lipstick was the only thing that touched Emma's mouth that day, apart from the cafeteria food.